Okay, Nan. I'm over here making another video. I'm going to demonstrate how to make fry bread dough. This was a request from one of my YouTube viewers. Okay. I think there's enough fry bread dough making videos, but maybe not. Okay, so what I'm using, let me just go through my ingredients. Signature Select. That's a Frybread. In case you don't know, get in the know. All-purpose flour. It's pre-sifted. Morton's salt, and I also have Clabber Girl baking powder. Okay, I've actually set aside and measured out 3 tablespoons here of my baking powder. So, and then you want to have lukewarm water. Okay. You don't want it too hot. You don't want it cold. Okay, so we're gonna measure out in cups the flour, because when you're really res and you wanna make dough, your aunties are gonna be super critical of you. Okay, and they want to see you do the dough perfectly the first time. Okay. When you're Navajo, they're like, make it right, don't screw this up. I'm just kidding. But and in Navajo culture, we don't use measuring cups, teaspoons, tablespoons, all this. You eye it. You eye it. You get your recipe down by simply trying it over and over again. You know, normally I would just pour the flour in here, fill it up to a certain height, and then that's what I would work with, depending on how many people I'm making dough for. Okay, so there was 1 cup, but just for the sake of teaching and showing, I want to show the actual amounts. Okay, so there's 2 cups, right? Just about. We're not going to be picky here. 2 cups, okay? Let me do 1 more. And that should be enough for this demonstration here. Okay? Now, like I said, don't have to be just right. Just, okay, 3 cups. All right, that's good enough dough. This will probably make a good 8 to 10 slices of fry bread, depending on what size you want to make it. What size you want to make your fry bread. All right, so we have our, I pre-measured this for 3 tablespoons, but let's just go back through the exercise here. Okay, again, I'm not going to stand here and go over that with the knife to get the perfect amount. There's 1, there was 2, okay, and here's 3. A little bit over, but okay, so that's good. All right, we want to mix that together, and then the salt, we want to, 1/2 tablespoon is fine. These are leavening agents. The baking powder and salt, they're leavening agents, so the salt's not necessarily for flavor, although you can add it for flavor now. So I'm gonna do, I basically did one tablespoon there. You want salty fry bread if you want that. Like, I actually like a little bit of salt in my, when I bite into it, I want to taste a little bit of salt already there. So you want to mix this up nicely. You want to get that baking powder mixed in nicely with the flour, because that's what's going to help the dough rise. So the more evenly spread in the dough it is, the better. Okay, you want that salt getting all mixed up in there too. So give it a few more swirls. All right, and then I just create a little well in the middle of the dough, or middle of the dry ingredients. Okay, you get your lukewarm water, and you're gonna, this one, you're gonna eye this, okay? I have one whole cup here. I may use 3/4 at the most. Okay, we want to fill up that well with some water. We've taken, close to 1/2 cup of water there. Okay, 1/2 cup. Stir that around with your finger. There's nothing, you don't want to, mix it all in too fast. You don't want to take too long. So just go around in a circle, and you're basically getting the flour that's on the edges, and you're blending that in with the middle, what you have in the middle area. Okay, look at your dough. It's a pretty clumpy now. It's sticking together, and you wanna eye the flour on the side and just say, okay, well, add a little bit more water. Okay, we're almost there here with the water. We're almost using it all. Okay, so blend that in more. Now the pros, the Navajo, your aunties and your grandmas, they want you to do this and have no dough left over on the sides, and have the actual dough be perfect. Okay, that's cool. They have their standards, but you can tell them that bougie Navajo lady said that it's okay to have some extra flour on the side. Okay, now it's looking like this whole, okay, so we're almost using the whole cup of water. I just don't want to leave a whole lot of flour on the side. So all right, so this is what it looks like. Okay, it's sticking together. It's not, it's actually coming off your hand, your fingers. It's not sticking to your fingers as much as would be if you had a very watery. So we're gonna kind of just get this ball and start kneading it, okay? And just use the flour that's on the side of the bowl. And you want to get to a point, you're pulling in the dough from the sides, and you're basically rolling it, or folding. I don't want to say folding, because folding is something completely different. You're kneading it into the dough. So you're getting the edges, and you're pulling in the dough, and then you're actually kneading that in. Okay, now you don't want to knead too much, because you don't want your dough to get too hard. This right here is a good consistency. Sticking together, it's soft, and so that's where we want to stop. Okay, no more kneading. We don't want to kill this thing. Okay, so you're gonna have extra flour on the sides, and that's okay. You can use that for when you're actually rolling out the dough and you're making your balls of dough and so forth. And you just want to pick out obviously the other clumps, and then take those out and toss them in the trash. And what you should have left is just a nice maybe 1/4 of a cup of flour on the side. Remember, this flour has the baking powder and the salt mixed in already, so it's already primed and ready to be used to actually help you roll out your dough. Okay, taking out all the clumps, I'm going to go clean my hands off, and then I'm going to cover this. What you want to use is a nice cloth that is porous and that is breathable and will actually, keep your dough warm. And you want to cover this for 20 minutes. So when you cover your dough, you want to put it in a dish that doesn't have a lot of flour. And I just scraped out the dish that I made the dough and took all the flour out and put it off to the side. So you don't want a whole lot of flour on the sides, because it'll stick to the sides of the dough, and your dough is going to look lumpy and so forth. So here we go. We're going to cover it. I have a cloth that is a nice and thin, breathable cloth, but it's going to keep the dough covered so the dough can rise. Okay, remember the leavening agents have to work there with the dough to get it soft and do the whole chemistry. So 20 minutes. Okay, I'm back. All right, we got our setup here. We have the dough that's been sitting for 20 minutes, and we have our extra flour that was on the sides. We have our rolling pin. So when you use a rolling pin, your aunties and your grandma, they're gonna talk smack, okay? They have all kinds of jokes and everything about you. They're gonna be like, hey, don't buy either. That's she doesn't make bread and she doesn't know. Okay, so from that dough that you had, you're gonna take off small balls of dough, okay, and you're going to basically roll them into a ball. You're just getting individual pieces so that they can rise a little bit more, but they'll also be easier to roll out. And just give it a little bit of flour on the top there so it's nice and soft. When you take that, you want to, this is about the size you want, depending on how big you want your fry bread pieces to be, okay? Now, once I roll these out, you'll see, you know, what size I'm working with, but you know, that's a generous, that's a decent size for somebody who's not trying to get, you know, diabetes in 2 weeks. Okay, so there we go. I'm just, you know, I turn the dough over with my fingers to get the soft side exposed, and then on the bottom, I'm just rolling it to close up that gap. Okay, so that's what it should look like. It should be nice and smooth. Roll it to the dough a little bit more, and then set it, you know, set it aside. On, you can use some other surface. You can put it back in the pan also, and then cover them again, because the key is to keep all of this dough soft until it's time to go into the oil. Okay, once again, I'm just closing that gap once I expose that soft side of the dough. Boom. Give it a little roll. I'm gonna put these back in the glass dish that I was using, and just, you know, separate, keep them separate from each other, because you don't want them to stick. Now this piece is gonna be a bigger piece, so just, you know, just depending, like I said, on what size you're going to make the dough, you're going to make the fry bread pieces. So this just to show you difference in size, right? Just one size. Here's the next size. They're not very much, you know, they're not, well, this is small. This is your bigger piece. So like I said, to find out which size you want, you're going to experiment a little. So now I have 5 balls of dough. Okay, just cover that again so that they're just ready to go. We're going to take some flour and just flour a surface. Could be your counter if you don't have a, you know, a board. And what you want to do is you simply want to start it out with a rolling pin. That's what I do. Like I said, some people will talk smack about you, but that's okay. Okay, you just want to get it to a point where you can actually work with the dough. Flour on the surface. Okay. Your oil should be nice and hot by now. The way that you can check that is take a pinch of flour, throw it in there. If it starts to sizzle, you're good. You're ready to go. Now, See, once you get that to a point where you can actually slap it around with your hands, then it gets a lot easier. You're slapping, pull the edges, don't pull too hard, just pull enough, because this dough is pliable, but you don't want to make holes in your dough. Pull this side as well. This is that bigger piece of dough that bigger ball of dough that I made. Okay. Etc. This is, okay, now depending on how fluffy you want your fry bread, okay, the dough thickness matters. If you want a nice big puffy dough, your dough should look like pizza dough, right? It should have some thickness to it. And you look at the size and you pick, you know, you're like, okay, this is how big I want my dough, my actual fry bread piece to be, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and leave it this size, poke a hole in the middle, put it right into the oil. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move this camera over to show what that looks like. You see it's already rising. About my fork. I only put it in there for what was that, 10 seconds? It's already nice and brown. Okay. 10 seconds on each side, your fry bread should be nice, golden brown. Now, my heat, the heat of the oil, this is an electric stove. I have it on medium high, and the oil should have a little bit of smoke coming up out of it. That's how you know it's hot, and you'll want to turn your fan on. But that's what the fry bread looks like. Okay, so next time you roll up to your family reunion and the aunties and your grandmas talking smack about you not being able to make good fry bread, you roll in with this, you're gonna get that stamp of approval, okay? Your fry bread should be nice and puffy, soft on the inside, crispy on the outside. This is what it should look like. And when your aunties and your grandma start saying things like, "Hey, don't buy either," you can be like, "Hell no, take that back, cause here I am with my fry bread, nice and puffy." This is like gold ribbon status here. That's the award. You should get the gold ribbon from the ACE Squad Reyes cooking crew. Anyways, good luck, happy cooking, happy fry bread making, peace.